Hey again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wheel of Albums. Along with my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I'm Justin. What we do here on Wheel of Albums is we spin a wheel of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. Then we listen to that album for a week. We get back to you. We let you know if we think it's an album you must hear before you die. This week, Jack spun the wheel, and he got 2017's, I guess you could call it a sort of a comeback or a reunion album from LCD Soundsystem, and American Dream. I will start by saying I'm glad this is not Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young's 1980s comeback album, American Dream. That album is awful. LCD Soundsystem? Here's a band I like. Their first three albums in the 2000s up to 2010's This Is Happening. I thought that's a great three-pack of albums. Then they released this in 2017. I listened to it once and kind of forgot about it. Going into this, I had a little, as Jack would say, trepidation. Giving it 3 good listens in a row, though, I was looking forward to it at the same time.
Well, Justin and Jack, I don't know about you guys, but what I like to do after coming back from a 2-week break is to dive right in and cleanse my palate with some new wave dance rock. And boy, are we getting that. I don't think I've ever heard of this album before, and I've heard other LCD Soundsystem albums, and if I'm in the right mood, I usually enjoy it. So let's dive in and see what American Dream has to offer.
Our most recent album, LCD Soundsystem. It's an American dance punk revival band. That sounds a lot cooler than they are. Unfortunately, I was predisposed to dislike whatever came after Tom Waits because it wasn't going to be as good as the Tom Waits album to my ears. But we'll see. I am giving it its due spin.
So we've all seen bands after they call it a day come back out of it, sometimes longer, some longer than others. And you always wonder, is this for a money grab? Is there, unfinished business that you need to do? And that's kind of where American Dream by LCD Soundsystem falls in. They had a great run from the mid-2000s to about 2011, 2012 when they had a documentary at Madison Square Garden, sold-out show. And James Murphy comes back. He has more he wants to say. Wants to talk about the disillusionment of America from the point of a middle-aged man. Not the same younger dude that was talking about Daft Punk coming to his house in the 2000s. And if I could just real quickly say, anything that's called American Dream usually paints America in not the best light. And that's fine. We got ish.
And while James Murphy's lyrical stylings are cool and he's got some deep lyrics, my thought is it's kind of an odd mixture, right? So, we're supposed to love his lyrics, but are we supposed to dance, or are we supposed to immerse ourselves and dissect those lyrics?
I just can't. And your description is they're an innovative outfit in New York City. I don't feel the innovation. It just seems like repetition. That rhymes kind of with innovation.
I can't shake my booty and think at the same time. It's one or the other. What do you want me to do, James Murphy? What do you want me to do?
The thing is, he was more spunky on those earlier recordings. And you're right, Adam. Here you got to really pay attention to what he's into, because things are a little bit more drawn out. LCD Soundsystem draws everything out. But as far as themes go, things get drawn out a little bit more. I don't know if it's fair to say it, but it's more shoegazy, and I don't know if that really works. How about a good quip like they used to do, drunk girls take an hour to pee?
Could you imagine, the dance floor hearing a great lyric and be like, wait a minute, what's he mean by that? No, you get out there and you dance.
I don't know how to attack or address LCD Soundsystem. Retired, hung it up. I can't remember an artist necessarily going completely out of retirement. Neil Young, Alice Cooper, they were still putting out records, but they were doing nothing, flatlining commercially. And then they struck something again and caught the attention of the masses.
I mean, obviously the hunger was there for LCD Soundsystem. American Dream, when it was released in 2017, hit #1. I don't know what that is on the scale of things on Billboard 200 compared to back in the day, but that just shows that the demand by fans was there. And I personally remember listening to it once just to hear, do they still got it? They still got the quirky, attitude that they used to have. I listened to it once and I didn't go back to it. I didn't think it was that special.
I really didn't realize how big they were, that they actually sold out Madison Square Garden, and that they, kind of released 3 albums and made this trilogy, and then said goodbye. I could see why critics and fans would have loved this album, because they got overly excited for new music from these guys. And fans, when they're starved, will take an average record and say it's kind of the greatest thing ever just because it's something new. This album kind of fits into that category a little bit.
So that basically sums up LCD Soundsystem around 2017. But we get down to American Dream itself. Is it an album that still makes you want to go out on the dance floor and have a good time like their early stuff did? Jack, this is your first time listening to them. How does LCD Soundsystem make you feel?
I can't get behind it. I'm caveman-esque in what makes my booty want to hit the dance floor. And it's not this. BTO, that's what gets me out there. You want to see old Woodsy dance? Boom, put on Taking Care of Business. I'm going to be there.
You know, the production sounds good on it. The lyrics sound good, but I'm not sure if it's intended or not. But this album kind of feels more like a mashup of other artists and their stylings a little bit more than actually original LCD Soundsystem songs of old. I didn't really have a favorite on the album per se that I wanted to keep going back to. Oh Baby reminds me of an 80s movie soundtrack.
The one that has the most listens, according to Spotify, this 84 million streams, is Oh Baby. That one does not do it for me.
Maybe it has the most because that's the amount of people that went to check out the album and didn't look any further.
The song Other Voices, it feels very Talking Headish, and it's kind of like a mash between Talking Heads and Madonna.
It's one of the few songs on here that remind me of older LCD Soundsystem, and I like the quirkiness of it. And whenever James Murphy goes, "Tell him, Nancy," and they bring in the female vocalist Nancy Wang, loved on older albums on songs like Get Anakis and North American Scum.
The third song, I Used To, sounds like a mashup of Editors and Interpol and Old U2.
The third track, I Used To, I really enjoy that. I don't know why. It seems to stand out differently than a lot of the other songs on the album to me.
It's like most of the album feels just a little underwhelming compared to the rest. It feels like he just tried to grasp all musical stylings and put it on this album.
Hit middle age and looking back at past times can be hard. Sometimes you just don't want to sit, at least I don't want to sit down and listen to it, thinking about the old times. The old times are there. They've already been recorded for you. It's like looking at your old yearbook of when you used to run track and, maybe you did the pole vault and you think, hey, I'm going to go out and try to do that pole vault. Don't grab the pole. Don't do that.
Justin, Jack, have you guys ever had an emotional haircut? And if so, did you sleep okay at night? Or did you need to call the police because whoever cut your hair should be arrested?
Never. I always trust my salon expert.
I had received an uncomfortable haircut before while Spandau Ballet's True was playing. Maybe it's an emotional haircut. Maybe I should look into litigation for LCD Soundsystem and my trauma of True.
When we look at the ratings for American Dream, Brother Adam scored a 5.55, Jack, Old Woodsy with a 4.6, myself a 5.8, for an overall rating of 5.316. Our top three songs: Call the Police, Emotional Haircut, and I Used To. And our least favorite song was Black Screen. That song was absolutely terrible.
Well, it's that time of the episode again where we decide, should you listen to this album before you die? My vote is an absolute no. It feels like a JV version of the early LCD Soundsystem that people love. Check out their early stuff and leave this one on the bench. Check out the Varsity Studs. This Is Happening and Sounds of Silver. Hopefully those are on Dimery's list here. Maybe when he wrote this, he was like, oh, it's a new LCD Soundsystem. I love them so much. Got to put it on, right? A lot of it just sounds more like a tribute to the sound of the aughts and other artists instead of a straight up LCD Soundsystem album from that time period. I mean, if you listen close enough, you can find a pinch of Arcade Fire, a scotch of The Strokes, a light drizzle of Daft Punk. I just don't think it holds up compared to their earlier stuff.
Must you call the police before you die and live that American dream? No. Go outside, throw a frisbee with your friends, play rundown, do something. Use your time more wisely than listening to this release from LCD Soundsystem. This is a no. This album should not be on your list of 1001 albums to hear before you die.
I'm going to repeat what you guys both said and say no to American Dream. It's not that it's a terrible album. It's actually enjoyable in spots. It reminds me at times how much I did like LCD Soundsystem. There's a quirky sort of energy on those first 3 albums that's missing on this, and that's probably because James Murphy's older, he's more wise, and lyrically, he's still human, and that's what I've always liked about these guys. He shows some humanity. So no, American Dream, I'm sure when this came out, Dimery and many other critics were so happy that LCD Soundsystem had released something new. Guess what? This is 9 years later, and we haven't got another release from LCD Soundsystem since this, which kind of makes me think that even they thought, you know what, maybe we didn't need to release this. So the fact it's on 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die, that's the big head scratcher. Go to one of their first 3 albums before you get to this one. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get another LCD Soundsystem. I think there's one more on there. I think I did look and see there's one more on there. All right, it's time to go ahead to the next week. I've got the wheel this week. Let's give it a spin and see what I got. And it's spinning. What goes up must come down. No, it's not Blood, Sweat, and Tears, but sort of from that same time frame. Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate on the next wheel of albums. If you're listening on Spotify, we'd love it if you give us a follow. We release a new episode each Monday, just about, most Mondays. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe there as well. Sydney, our graphic artist, is now also taking over YouTube Shorts. So look for some of our YouTube Shorts, just quick snippets of each episode, starting with Tom Waits' Swordfish Trombones.
James Murphy's quirky vocal delivery reminds me mostly of, I'm gonna go with Eben Ozen. Ooh, they had some quirky delivery. Eben Ozen, I believe, from my history lessons that when I used to pay attention and tried to remember, these fellows' names were actually Lieben and Rosen, but they changed their names for the band. They used some electronic drums and keyboards, probably the Fairlight or the precursor to the Fairlight, and they did that styling where they just kind of jibber jab over the beats. So I'm gonna go with that. And that's also one of the reasons why I don't find LCD Soundsystem innovative, is because I've heard Eben Ozen.
Adam, are you losing your edge?
Am I supposed to get my groove on?
Are you gonna dance yourself clean?
Or am I supposed to think?
Is Daft Punk playing at your house? Your house?
I just don't know. What do you want me to do, James Murphy? What do you want me to do?